Well, with another week down in the books, it's time for the weekly rotation once again, and it's week number 61. So stay tuned. So starting off on Sunday is a relatively new to my collection. I mean, I've had it for several months now, but it's been a little while since I wore it. And I was itching for some more fresher style fragrances this week. So I went with Ferragamo from Salvatore Ferragamo. Had been talking about it recently and smelled it in the air just like this a few times. And next thing you know, I'm wanting to wear it and spray it relatively heavy. I think I put like 8 sprays on. Had a pretty good scent bubble going. I love this stuff. You know, when you can find it, it's around 30-ish bucks from discounters. It sells out pretty quick, but restocks are usually not too far around the corner when this one sells out. Definitely one of my favorite releases from last year. This was released towards the beginning of 2020. And Ferragamo always comes with some really good designer fragrances, and they end up getting really cheap really fast at discounters. One of my favorite designer houses, for many reasons, because some of my favorite fragrances like Momo's Signature, for example, and of course, you know, Aqua Sensale Blue, all Ferragamo fragrances. This one's up there too. Really enjoying Ferragamo. And then out the shower that night, been a little while since I wore this one. It's been reformulated. It's now a green label with green juice. It's from Authenticity Perfumes. This is the old formula of Summer Vibes. This has the yellowish juice that looks kind of like lemonade with the yellow label, how it's been reformulated. So this is the newer one, green juice, green label. So what it is it's richer. Same notes, they just kind of upped the ante on certain notes, I guess, and made it a little bit more dense. This one's lighter, this one's a little heavier. Both smell fantastic. I was just out the shower, it made more sense to wear the lighter one. That's why I went with this. So if you haven't checked out Authenticity Perfumes offerings yet, I mean, I don't think you can get this one anymore, but this is just a little bit more full-bodied version of it, same notes. If you haven't tried them yet, there's always a link down in my descriptions of all my videos with a little discount code, and they offer sample packs if you want to try the whole house. Definitely worth checking out. All a bunch of really good originals. Out the shower that night was the old batch, Summer Vibes. Moving into Monday is part of that Montal fragrance haul that I got from Kingdom Fragrances. Starry Nights. One that I have been wanting to try for a long time. Very, very powdery, very unisex. If you like powdery floral fragrances, you will like Starry Nights, which of course I do. This was a tester bottle. That's why the pin's going through the atomizer instead of stopping it underneath. Man, it's got a violet, powdery kind of smell to it. It's really good. There's some sweetness to it. It's unique, but not too unique. Like, it reminds me of a few other powdery style fragrances. It smells familiar. It doesn't remind me of specific fragrances. It just has a familiar smell, but performance is incredible on it. And like I said, it smells great. Definitely glad to have this one. Very, very unisex. Ladies, I know there's a lot of ladies that enjoy this one. Steve's always got a fluctuating stock of different brands, and Montal's, he's got them coming in and going out left and right. I have no idea if he's got any Starry Nights right now, but keep an eye out because Steve keeps a really good price on full presentations and on testers. And the testers come just like this, but in a white box with no bag. He's got them on the low. And on Monday, absolutely enjoyed my powdery little secret here, Starry Nights. And then when I got out the shower that night, did a lot of nostalgia style videos this past week with an Aqua de Jo review, a Polo Green review, a nostalgic scents video, and this was featured in it that same day, I believe. Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. I was in the mood for it, so I wore it that night out the shower. Oversprayed the hell out of it. I say overspray, sprayed it more than I normally spray my out the shower scents. Out the shower, I normally give myself 4 good sprays because it's plenty. It's just me winding down before I go to bed for a few hours, hanging out in this room or up in the living room. I don't need a lot of sprays with this one. I think it was like 7 or 8 sprays. I sprayed my shirt a bunch of times to really get a little sillage going where I could really smell myself, because it's not a great performer, but it's one of the most nostalgic scents in my collection. It's still a great fragrance to this day, even though it's only like a 3-hour fragrance these days. It still smells really good. It's fresh. It's got some cactus in it. Out the shower that night, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. Moving into Tuesday, I just spoke about how I did a full review last week on this one. The original Ralph Lauren Polo, also known as Polo Green these days. And I had a bunch of people in the comments on my Scent of the Day post and then on the review about, oh, my wife said you smell like an old man. Oh, that's an old man smell. Hey, say what you will. Just because I like it doesn't mean you have to. I've got some fond memories of school dances tied to this fragrance, so I'm happy to have it back in my collection. While it was on my desk this past week, I sprayed it probably 5 out of 7 nights on my arm, not counting the full wearing, because I just love smelling this one. Extremely masculine, makes me think of the winter time, which we're in winter, and I'm in cold weather. I'm in Colorado now, so I'm always in cold weather. This is perfect for this. Very nostalgic fragrance, very old school, old style powerhouse fragrance. Masculine, green, tobacco, woody. Man, this is just a good fragrance, you know? If you don't like it, that's okay too. I absolutely love wearing Polo Green. And then out the shower, it was time for a shave. And this time I went with my shave cream from Hemingway Accoutrements, and I don't have an aftershave splash for that, so I actually used some Skin Bracer. Good old tried and true. So $3 or $4 at most grocery stores and places like that, Walgreens, wherever have you. So nothing special, old school, still does the trick. Works well on your skin for razor burn and stuff like that. And then I followed it with Hemingway Accoutrements Signature Collection Eau de Parfum fragrance. That beautiful, beautiful aromatic tobacco that this scent is known for. It smells good, really, really good. I don't have any aftershave products from them, but I have a small container of the shave cream, which is incredible and lathers great. It smells incredible as well. And then I also have the fragrance, and the fragrance is a banger. It's not all the time that I get in the mood for it. I'm not always in the mood for a tobacco fragrance when I'm just going to be up for another 2 hours or so and then I go to bed. But this one is just, it's light enough, it's aromatic enough. It's like a barbershop fragrance mixed with a tobacco fragrance, because the tobacco is pretty dominant in this one. But out the shower that night, had a good shave with some Hemingway Accoutrements shave cream, and then followed it up with the fragrance. Moving into Wednesday, this is another one that I just did a full review on. This is the newest release from Happy Land Studios. We're talking about Shadowland. Now, I noticed in the Happy Land fragrance group on Facebook that a lot of people have been talking about it because they had it ordering, and they mentioned how I wasn't a fan of the opening. I do think the opening's strange on this one, and what I mean, let me elaborate when I say it's a little weird, is I feel like it's trying to be several different types of openings. It's trying to be a little fresh, it's trying to be a little dark, it's trying to be a little sweet, it's trying to be a little spicy. It's kind of doing a little bit of everything. That's what I meant. I should have elaborated better in the video. That's what I meant by it's a weird opening. It doesn't turn me off completely, but I'm not a fan of the opening. Really not. But after a few minutes, literally a few minutes, it starts to get really good really fast, because that orris comes in hard. It really gets strong. The pink pepper rears its head a bit more. It gets really good really fast. The transition to the heart and the dry down is gorgeous on this fragrance. Definitely sample worthy at the very least. Very unique and original. Kind of has some Reflection Man vibes in the dry down, but not the same as Reflection Man, but it'll maybe make you think of it. Very orris heavy. If you like orris, iris fragrances, you need to check out Shadowland. And then out the shower that night, I had used my English Laundry Cambridge Night shower gel in the shower that night, so I went with my weaker performing bottle of Cambridge Night. You always know which one it is because it has that sticker on the side from Marshall's, one of the loose bottles. My full presentation bottle, the red's a little different, the transparency's a little different, and it performs. It's an 8 to 10 hour fragrance with some good sillage. It smells a bit deeper and richer. This one, 4 or 5 hour fragrance at best. Roughly 4 hours, but smells really good. It smells like that matured Invictus DNA, because you add black currant and lily of the valley to Invictus. This is what you get. This doesn't perform like Invictus. The other bottle I have performs similar to Invictus. Not quite as potent, but close. But out the shower, every time I use one of those showers, because I have 2 bottles of the shower gel, I like to match it up with the fragrance. And of course I go with the weaker performer for out the shower, because I'm going to be going to bed shortly thereafter. And that night, it was Cambridge night. Moving into Thursday is not new to the collection, but the bottle is. I'm talking about the flagship from Authenticity. It was another fragrance from Authenticity this week. This is the new 50 ml bottle from them. They discontinued the 30 ml. The original 60 ml has been long gone, but when I did my full review and actually gave away a bottle, it was the 30 ml, which I do have the 30 ml. But I got to tell you this, and look, he upgraded the boxes as well. I have the box right here. So the box has changed, fragrance info and stuff like that. But the bottle, this cap is actually similar to the Bon Parfumer cap. It's not exactly the same, but it's definitely in the same vein. It's a similar style. Doesn't have the printing or anything. Not quite as heavy, but close. Doesn't click into place, but it holds. Ooh, I smell the fragrance. But soapy, creamy. Oh man, beautiful sandalwood. If you haven't checked out the flagship yet, you need to. It's the flagship for a reason. The damn fragrance is named after the company. This is really, really good stuff. Forgot how much it's going for the 50 ml, just like with Summer Vibes. Links down below. But really good fragrance. I was excited to wear it because it's been a little while since I wore Authenticity. The juice hasn't changed, but I think I went with a good 6 sprays and sillage wouldn't go away. It doesn't project real far, but the amount of projection I get is a nice little aura, a nice little scent bubble that hangs out for hours and hours and hours and hours. So consistent projection is definitely a strength with this one. If you haven't checked out Authenticity, I'm telling you, check out Authenticity. And then out the shower that night, I had just did the fresh crowd-pleasing fragrances video, and Blue Sapphire was featured in it. And I think actually in that video I said I was wearing it. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I had to, once I take this out and spray it, it makes me want to wear it. I'm telling you guys, it's great. It's a great inspiration of Elysium. Takes away a lot of what makes Elysium a fougere, turns it into a citrus aromatic. You've heard me sound like a broken record on this one because I love this fragrance. That's why it's in the rotation. I wore it again. Blue Sapphire from Sammy Andrews Fragrances. If you're going to get one from Sammy, make sure it's Blue Sapphire. Out the shower that night, that was what I wore. Moving into Friday, this was the first full wearing of this fragrance. This is another one that was featured in the Fresh Crowd Pleasing Fragrances video. Boom. Put that fist right in your face right there. Diesel. Only the Brave. That awesomely cheesy bottle. The juice is great. Projection and sillage is great. Every bit of 8 hours, 7-8 hours, it was pretty good longevity. I was actually impressed. And the projection, just kind of like with Authenticity, it was loud at first. First hour or so was really, really, really loud. Second hour, it started coming in a little bit, maybe a couple feet out. And then it kind of held for a few hours where I couldn't make a move without getting a whiff of myself. I couldn't turn my head. I couldn't walk forward, backwards, anything. Wife kept telling me how good I smelled throughout the day. We were running around that day. Had a lot of errands to run. Yes, it's youthful, but damn does it smell good. Mass appealing. It's a pleasing DNA. It's a compliment puller. I paid like 27 bucks for a 75 ml tester. I wish I'd have got this sooner. I could have had a love for it even sooner because I've always heard good things about it. And I've had friends that have wore it in the past, but I never had a bottle for myself. And prior to getting this bottle, I'd never sprayed it on myself. So I'm definitely a fan. I got 2 others in the line that I'm going to be giving some love here real soon. But definitely digging Diesel, Only the Brave. And then out the shower that night is my favorite gym fragrance, Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Blue. I do have, you see the dent in there. I used to carry this in my gym bag. I have a 1 ounce bottle that I carry in my gym bag now, so I don't have to leave the bigger bottle in my bag. Performance, nothing special. Heavy in the first 30 to 45 minutes, and then it starts sitting really close to the skin pretty fast, and after 2-ish hours, it's gone on my skin. It doesn't last long, 2 to 3 hours. And that's pretty much it. It works great for a gym scent, really does. It's not too in your face. Keeps you smelling fresh and clean. It's very crisp and green. It's a blue fragrance at its finest, minus the performance. Still warrants having. It's actually my favorite fragrance that I don't need a bunch of performance for, that I'm gonna leave the house with, because I love the way this thing smells. Get them cheap when they're at rack stores, 25 bucks, get you a big bottle like this, 20 bucks when you can find 50 mLs. And I wanna say the one ounce was like $10 or $12 when I got it. It was either $10 or $12. I mean, I have 2 bottles of it, so I can keep a small one with me in my bag, because I love it that much. Out the shower that night, Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Blue. And finally, moving into Saturday, I couldn't decide what to wear. I looked over, I was sitting in my desk chair, I looked over, and I saw a specific box caught my eye, and I said, yeah, haven't worn that in a while. I'm gonna go with Spirit of King's Matar. Their version of Creed Aventus, a niche Creed Aventus clone. Who knew? Smoky, too. Much more birch and black currant heavy. The pineapple's there, don't get me wrong. A little bit of apple's there, crisp apple. Get some of the rose, some vanilla, some ambergris, some oak moss. I mean, it's Aventus. It smells like smoky Aventus. They did great with it. I understand it can be strange to pay over $100 for a clone of Aventus. But even from discounters, it's less than half the price of a bottle of Aventus. And it's niche quality. Keep that in mind. High quality oils. It's smoky Aventus, actual smoky Aventus quality. Half the price. Half the price of discounters price. Because Aventus is expensive. Very, very expensive. A lot of ways to smell like Aventus. And this is the niche version of the clone way to smell like Aventus. Like I said, who knew? It's really good. I really like it. I suggest you try it if you haven't. Spirit of King's Matar. And then out the shower that night was when I filmed that SCENTual Obsessions video that I have a giveaway running for right now for a bottle of King of Kings. Check that out if you have not yet. And in that video, I sprayed Boss Man as my scent of the night. From what I understand, this is supposed to be Dior Homme Parfum, but I find it smells more like Dior Homme. And I have to say, so it was after I got out the shower that I filmed that video and I sprayed it. It was at night. And the following morning, it was still projecting. I kid you not, it was still projecting. The performance is ridiculous. This is 33% oil concentration. The performance is ridiculous on these new exclusive line fragrances Kevin's made. It's absurd. This one specifically, Boss Man, which I find smells more like original Dior Homme than Dior Homme Parfum, because it's a lot fresher. The leather's not rough and in my face. It's more iris with a supportive leather than it is leather oud rose just in your face with supporting iris. It's telling you, it just smells like Dior Homme. And Dior Homme Original is getting harder to find, so I'm telling you, check out Boss Man, the exclusive line. Boss Man Intense, supposed to be a Dior Homme Intense. Doesn't smell like Dior Homme Intense to me. Pass on that one. But if you're looking for a good version of Dior Homme, a good clone, it's not going to break the bank. I'm telling you, this thing performs. It went well over 12 hours and was still projecting pretty good. Boss Man from SCENTual Obsessions. Well, folks, that was week number 61. And until next time, do me a real quick favor and go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. Love hearing from you guys. What'd you wear this week? Let me know down in the comments. I'm always interested to see people's rotations. I know a few of you that do it religiously. Every week you're putting your rotation down in the comments, and I appreciate you playing along and letting me know what you were wearing. I really do. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these, if you haven't smelled them yet, you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.